It was supposed to be another polished week in Genoa City. The flowers were fresh, the coffee was hot, and Diane Jenkins had every intention of keeping the Abbott mansion looking like the picture of perfection. Unfortunately, in Genoa City, appearances never stay perfect for long. By the time the week was over, one thing became painfully obvious. Mrs. Martinez might be the best housekeeper in town, but even she couldn't scrub away the stains left behind by betrayal, secrets, and one unforgettable disaster. Jack Abbott had spent weeks convincing himself that his family was finally finding peace. Kyle seemed to be settling into a new rhythm. Diane was determined to prove she deserved the Abbott name, and the constant corporate battles had momentarily taken a back seat. It almost felt too good to be true. That was because it was. Everything began with a tense family dinner at the Abbott mansion. Diane had spared no expense preparing the evening. Crystal glasses sparkled beneath the chandelier, fresh roses decorated the dining room, and Mrs. Martinez proudly admired the spotless cream-colored carpets she'd spent hours cleaning. "Tonight," Diane smiled confidently, "nothing is going to ruin this evening." Famous last words. Jack arrived carrying the weight of several difficult business decisions. Victor Newman had once again launched a subtle attack against Abbott interests. Billy was refusing to back down from another risky venture, and whispers about Kane's latest moves were circulating throughout Genoa City. Jack wanted one peaceful dinner. Instead, he got chaos. The evening started innocently enough until Kyle mentioned Audra's latest business proposal. Diane immediately stiffened. "I don't trust Audra," Diane said carefully. Kyle sighed. "Not everyone is plotting against this family." Jack attempted to calm the growing tension, but before anyone could change the subject, an unexpected visitor appeared at the front door. Ashley Abbott. Her arrival stunned everyone. Ashley hadn't returned simply for a pleasant reunion. She had questions, concerns, and plenty of opinions about everything happening inside the Abbott family. Within minutes, old rivalries resurfaced. Ashley questioned Diane's influence. Diane defended herself. Jack found himself caught between the two strongest women in his life once again. Voices rose. Tempers flared. Mrs. Martinez quietly disappeared into the kitchen, wisely deciding that no amount of cleaning could fix what was happening in the dining room. Just when the confrontation seemed ready to cool down, another bombshell exploded. A mysterious envelope arrived. Inside were photographs that threatened to expose a shocking misunderstanding involving Jack, Diane, and a recent altercation that no one had fully explained. Ashley demanded answers. Kyle looked confused. Diane's face turned pale. Jack insisted the photos lacked context. Unfortunately, context rarely matters in Genoa City. As accusations flew across the room, Jack suddenly experienced a dizzy spell. Weeks of stress, sleepless nights, and emotional exhaustion finally caught up with him. He stumbled backward. His head struck the corner of a marble table. Blood immediately stained the pristine carpet. For several horrifying seconds, nobody moved. Diane screamed. Ashley rushed to Jack's side. Kyle called for an ambulance. Meanwhile, Mrs. Martinez stepped into the room, froze at the sight of blood spreading across the expensive carpet, and quietly whispered to herself, "Not again." The emotional impact reached far beyond the physical injury. Although Jack's wound wasn't life-threatening, the accident forced every member of the Abbott family to confront the emotional damage they'd been ignoring. Diane blamed herself. "If I hadn't pushed so hard." Ashley interrupted. "This isn't all your fault." It wasn't exactly forgiveness, but it was closer than anyone expected. Elsewhere in Genoa City, Victor Newman watched developments unfold with cautious interest. Victor never celebrated another family's pain, but he certainly understood how moments of weakness could shift the balance of power. Michael Baldwin warned him not to interfere. Victor simply smiled. The Abbotts create enough problems without my help. Meanwhile, Billy Abbott viewed Jack's accident as another reminder that family conflicts were becoming increasingly dangerous. Sally encouraged Billy to focus on moving forward rather than reopening old wounds. For once, Billy actually listened. Across town, Audra found herself unexpectedly bonding with Noah. Their conversations became surprisingly honest, as both admitted they were tired of constantly being judged for their past mistakes. Could friendship become something deeper? Only time would tell. Back at the Abbott mansion, doctors confirmed Jack would make a full recovery, but emotional healing promised to take much longer. Diane couldn't stop staring at the faded stain left behind after professional cleaners worked for hours. Mrs. Martinez had attacked the carpet with every cleaner imaginable. Steam, special solvents, hours of scrubbing. Still, under the right light, the faint reminder remained. She finally admitted defeat. Some stains, she sighed, never really disappear. The carpet had become more than fabric. It symbolized everything the Abbott family had tried to hide beneath polished appearances. Years of betrayals, second chances, broken trust, pain that refused to vanish. Ashley eventually approached Diane, while both stood silently in the living room. I don't trust you, Ashley admitted honestly. I know, Diane replied. But I believe you love Jack. Diane looked genuinely surprised. I do. Ashley nodded. Then prove it every single day. It wasn't acceptance. It wasn't friendship. But it was progress. Jack, recovering comfortably, realized his family needed less protecting and more honesty. Instead of pretending everything was perfect, perhaps the Abbotts needed to admit they were beautifully imperfect. As the week came to a close, Genoa City settled into another uneasy calm. Victor continued planning his next move. Billy prepared for another business gamble. Kyle struggled to balance loyalty with independence. Audra's future remained uncertain. Ashley wasn't leaving town anytime soon. And Diane. She walked through the Abbott mansion one quiet evening, noticing Mrs. Martinez giving the carpet one final hopeful scrub. Diane smiled softly. You can stop. Mrs. Martinez looked disappointed. I'm sorry, I can't get it completely clean. Diane glanced at the barely visible stain before answering with unexpected peace. Maybe it's not supposed to disappear. Because some marks aren't reminders of failure. They're reminders of survival. The Abbott family had been knocked down once again, but they were still standing. Bruised. Changed. A little less perfect. Yet somehow stronger than before. In Genoa City, scars always tell a story. Some are carried in the heart, others on the soul, and a few remain forever woven into the carpets of the Abbott mansion, silent witnesses to another unforgettable chapter in The Young and the Restless.